In a previous video I showed you how to make a dungeon or bunker section, a corridor like this. In this video I want to show you how I would go about making steps, which are going to be useful particularly if you want to transition from your outdoor terrain down into your dungeon or into your bunker. Now, I'm sure there's lots of ways of doing this. I'll show you a way that can be done quite easily with the toolkit. So first thing, I've got the block which I removed from here in the previous video or earlier video. So I know this is the right size to fit into this corridor section. I'm going to use my depth guide to reduce this down to make my step. So I'm going to make each step be 7.5 millimeters because it's a convenient measure that works well with the toolkit. Bear with me a minute. That's better. I'm still getting used to using this technique. Okay, so ignore this one which I did first, which didn't come out particularly well. I've got 4 good pieces here to use, and in fact I should only need 3 for what I'm trying to do, so we'll keep those separately. Now, I've been thinking about this a bit, and what I'm looking to get in terms of steps here is I have one divided down the middle, so give it like a high step and a low step, and I'll do one at the quarter mark and 3/4 mark. But that would mean you'd have a step up to the mid quarter, a second step up to this 3rd quarter, and a 3rd step up to this final quarter. And that's only 3 steps up. Which is not going to take you from, you need it to be an even number to take you from this height to another one which is also 15 mil deep. So 3 steps is not going to cut it really for making modular terrain. It needs to be either 2 or 4. Well, 2 is easy because I just put a, well, I'm going to do 4 anyway, so I'll think about 2. Now what you could do is do the steps as I described, and then the next piece of terrain you reach, you'll just be able to see 7.5 millimeters of it will be showing. Be up here. But then you need to, once you come to decorating your terrain, you're going to have to decorate the front of this hex ready for it to be a step, even though most of the time it's not going to be a step. And you have to decorate all your dungeon terrain, all your dungeon hexes, just in case they appear as a step, which isn't so smart. So instead of that, let's put the step at the front of the step section, so that it will always start here, and this piece will always be used as the front leading step. And that way, you only have to do your step terrain on your step X, which is quite sensible, really. So the first piece is just going to go in like that. Obviously I'll be gluing it in a minute, but that's step 1 on there, and then that can be, make sure that when you texture your hex you put your concrete if it's a bunker, or your stonework if it's put a dungeon built onto that. Now the next thing we want to do is going to be a 3/4 hex. So here's one I've set up. So I'll just put a little step in here. Normally you'd be doing this with a hexagon. I mean, there's no need to have your steps be in the middle of a corridor like this. You could have really wide steps to go across multiple hexes, however you like. And if you've got a full hex, this will be even easier to do because it'll sit properly into this setup of the Hex Terrain Toolkit. Instead I'm going to hold it with my finger, making sure my finger is not going to get caught by the hot wire cutter as it goes past, which it won't. And we'll just slice straight down. Done. I've turned off the button. There we go. So that's the first one. Here's our second piece here. And when we're ready, this will be our top step. The next we need to cut this one in half. So let's have another sort of here. Normally if you were doing something like this you would use these semi pieces, but for the sake of speed I've used some other bits that had enough tabs in them. Okay, so let's make sure it's firmly seated, it's nice and snug, and that'll be easy to cut across. There we go. That's quite snugly in there. There we go. Okay. There's our third step and our fourth step. Oh, have I done one too many? I have. Take that out. There we go. And then we'll simply, I won't bother showing you how to glue these in, but you know how it works. Glue those on, and then it's pretty neat. And then when it comes to the next, if the corridor is going to carry on up here, you just put two riser hexes underneath it, and then the next corridor section. You might, for something like this, you may want to think about what the wall's going to do. You may want this to be much higher, so it's going to transition from this height up to the next dungeon. But you'll know what you're doing there, really. Particularly, if you want this to be something very close to the surface, you might have it that you're planning to put on, have a grass hex that goes on top of this. Not exactly like this, because obviously there's no space there, but so it might be in your interest to have a flat top, such that you can have your grass hexes which you remove to reveal the dungeon or bunker underneath. Okay, that's how you'd make a set of steps.